for the 3 years that we lived here, we were sharing a 1-bedroom apartment, shared the same bed for a while because that's all we could afford.
Yeah.
Had like a little pillow divider in between it.
Talk to them here with Joe of Loud Luxury.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Where in Canada are you originally from?
I'm from London, Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are your parents originally from there as well?
My dad's from Italy and my mom was born in London.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did your dad move to Canada for?
When my parents got together, they like moved over and everything. Yeah.
So you still have like ton of family in Italy?
Yeah, like half of my family's like, still there.
Where in Italy?
In the south. Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah, it's great.
What do your parents do?
So my dad was like a painter and a chef, and then.
Why does that just sound so Italian? I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of is the thing.
Yeah.
And my mom, she does like interior design, and then she works for the airline company back home.
Wait, so both your dads are chefs?
Andrew's dad is like a little bit more of like a high-end chef. My dad, he's just doing it now because he just likes to do it. It's just kind of like a fun thing.
So, but his like main profession is being a painter then?
Yeah, he was like a painter.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's his name so people could like check his stuff out?
Oh, it's not like it's like not like actual paintings, but like housing and stuff like that.
Oh.
You know, like on the inside of houses and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so both your parents are so creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What kind of music were they playing in the house when you were growing up?
My mom would always play like a lot of different stuff, but like a lot of Elvis Presley. Like I remember I got my first guitar when I was 5, and then I think that was one of the first songs I learned was an Elvis song.
Mm-hmm. Did you always wanted to pick up the guitar? You do a few instruments, right?
I mean, I can play a few different instruments. I could play a little bit of everything, but I mostly play like guitar and bass, and I switched more so over to bass like when I was playing in bands and stuff in high school and like after and like university. But yeah.
What were the original bands that you played, and what kind of like music was that?
It was all like punk rock stuff. Yeah. Really embarrassing photos of me you'll probably find from high school.
Emo looking.
Yeah. No, like actual punk. Like I had like a mohawk and stuff.
Damn.
Yeah.
So who were you most inspired by during that period?
I really liked the Sex Pistols. A lot of like UK bands like the Clash, the Ramones. I really like. Bad Religion, Dead Kennedys, like all those like old school guys.
What did your parents think of your love for punk?
They accepted it. They're like, I don't know how they really felt about it. Maybe they didn't were like, yeah, this is great, but I mean, they accepted it and they kind of were like, no, they weren't like, you can't do that kind of thing.
Actually, going back a bit, like Porter Robinson was impacted you a bit, right? His show?
That story is a little bit different because people say that, but that's not like kind of how Andrew and I met. I remember basically I was like opening for a lot of DJs at the time, and I was like, Andrew, like come to a show tonight. And then he's like, I don't really tell him too much about it. I was like, honestly, just come, like you're gonna have a good time, like don't even worry about it. And like you'll come backstage, like blah blah blah. And this is like right as we sort of met each other. And then it was a really great show. Like, don't get me wrong, that was an incredible show, and what Porter was doing at the time, it was really cool, and I don't think a lot of people were really doing that sort of thing. So that night was really cool, because I think that was one of the first times that Andrew got to really experience kind of like what a show was, you know what I mean? Like actually seeing it from like all aspects, like in the crowd and behind the stage and like that kind of thing.
Was that taking up most of your time? Like, did you do it after school?
I went to university, and then I was originally going to go for law. Like I was going to be like I kind of wanted to be like a prosecutor or something like that, like criminal law.
So into that.
Honestly, that's kind of something I was interested in. Like I really liked thought of becoming a lawyer. So then I found it interesting, and I always loved like criminal like CSI.
I was just going to say, I was going to ask if you were going to watch TV shows.
Yeah, like all that kind of stuff. And like now there's like Mindhunter and like all those shows and stuff. So like that kind of stuff I found really interesting. So I went to school originally for that. And then just like halfway through, I was like, I honestly really, I'm getting bored of this, and it just kind of like lost my interest. And then I ended up switching into the music program.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
But I've always done music. I've always done music.
Do you think if it wasn't for music that you would like be a lawyer right now, or?
I mean, probably. Like, I'd probably be doing something in that line. Like, I don't really know exactly what, but music was always kind of like, you know, that I'm drawn to this, and this is where I want to go with things in my life. So that's always where, if it came the opportunity to really like go for it, I would.
It never occurred to you to study music?
I did in like high school a little bit, and the school that I went to is more like classically trained. Like I would have had to play like a violin or like be like an opera singer or something like that. So I didn't really originally want to go into it at my school for that, but I found out later that there was like a production, like music production course. So that's how I got into it, because that's what I actually wanted to learn. Like I wasn't really interested to become like an opera singer and like be a music teacher or something like that. So that's why I didn't go for it originally.
When you were in these bands, was it original music or covers?
Like,
were you learning how to write?
Yeah. I did like original music, and like obviously covers and stuff like that. But we did a lot of a little bit of both, actually.
Whoa, how old were you when you started writing music then? Like lyrics? So I feel like a lot of producers weren't writing lyrics first before.
I don't know. I mean, not really so much lyrics, more so just kind of like songwriting and helping with songwriting and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a singer originally, so I can sing in the shower, but not originally. So it's like, for me, it was always just kind of like being a part of the process and like really like helping it out, you know?
What were you using back then?
Yeah, you know what? I did start on Ableton, and then I didn't like it for a little while, and then I moved to Logic, and then I moved back to Ableton.
Oh, what made you want to do the switch? A lot of people are watching on producers, so I think they're like curious.
Well, for me, at the time, like I had not like a really great computer because I didn't have a lot of money. So for Logic, like I started on Logic 9, I think, and it was very CPU heavy, so it would like bog up my computer. Whenever I had like really big projects, it would like the computer wouldn't run as well. But with Ableton, the computer ran really well, and then I just got so used to it. Like, I still use Logic, but I use Logic if I'm going to be doing like live recording, or if I'm going to like cut vocals, and then they have really nice features for that. But then Ableton, I pretty much do all the production and all that stuff in.
And the early music you were making sounded like Avicii?
Originally, what I would do is I would just try to like sit down and basically like how like somebody would cover a song like on a guitar or something like that. I would sit there and try to like reproduce what he did.
That's cool.
So I'd like recreate his songs.
And what occurred to you to start the school group?
The DJ club?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, well, my friend, he was part of it, and he was the president at the time. And then he asked me to like be a part of it and like join and like kind of help him out. And then when he ended up graduating, he's like, "You should be the president. Like, you'd be really good this year." And so I accepted it. I was like, "Yeah, like I'll try it out." And then it kind of just went from there with it.
What kind of reaction did your parents have when you realized you wanted to do music as a career and you didn't really use your law? Did you graduate?
Yeah, I did. I did graduate.
You guys both did.
I graduated with 2 degrees. I was there for a little bit longer. Yeah, I was kind of like a Van Wilder, but only because I had to. Like, it's not like I was just staying there because like I kind of stopped my one program and then and started a new one, and then had like maybe a few more credits or something like that from my old one. So I was like, I may as well finish it because I'll get 2 degrees.
That's so crazy.
So I actually have 2 degrees. I have a degree in criminology, and I have a degree in music.
Oh, so you did study music?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, like I switched into music halfway through university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it was helpful?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 100%. Because I was honestly at the time I was gonna probably just fail out. Like I was so uninterested and like not about it that I like one of my finals, like the year that I had some finals, I didn't even go to a couple. I was just like, I don't want to go to it.
And they were teaching you like producing?
Yeah.
Wow.
But a lot of it, like I said, because it was a really like, the school we went to, it's very like orchestral and like opera based and that sort of thing. There was like maybe 20% production and then the rest was more like theory and essay and like writing about like the Beatles and stuff like that.
And so your parents are supportive of you doing music?
Yeah, like my mom was super supportive, my dad, like they were just kind of like, as long as you're not like, as long as you can afford to like fund your career and like do what you want to do, like they're cool with it.
But then for the first year it was like difficult for you guys, right?
Yeah, oh my god, not even for the first year. Like Andrew and I don't know how much he told you, but like when because I graduated a little bit before him, so I was working a full-time job and I was like pretty stable at the time. And
what were you doing?
I was working at like a music store, so like kind of like a Guitar Center here, but I was in the sales office. So if like a company like a hotel here would be like, oh, we want to install like an entire speaker system in the hotel, like how do we do that? Then I would like help do that basically.
Oh, that's cool. So you know a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, like I know a little bit of everything. So yeah, like I was doing that and I had a pretty good job back home, and then Andrew just had graduated, and then our managers that we started working with were like, you guys should just make the move to LA. Like, if you really want to take this seriously, just go there. And then they obviously helped us out a little bit, but like once Andrew and I moved here, we kind of had to figure everything out for ourselves, and really just like for the 3 years that we lived here, we were sharing a 1-bedroom apartment, shared the same bed for a while because that's all we could afford. Had like a little pillow divider in between it.
Pillow fort.
Yeah, literally like a little pillow fort in between us, and like we'd sleep and we'd just like, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. Yeah, no, like, I mean, that's, I think, what you got to do, though, and it gives us better perspective now because it's like we've been through the grind and we've been through the hustle and we've seen kind of different perspectives of things. Like, I think I would rather have done that than had like a massive song back in Canada or whatever, and then we're like, oh, now we're super rich and now we have money, like let's move to LA, you know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people will do that, but it's like, for us, it puts better perspective on our lives, being like, okay, you know what, like we've been through hell, like we've literally done it all, and now you can like look back on it and be like appreciative of a lot more things, and you know.
What was the next big momentum after Body?
Well, once Body came out, that was when we had really started like touring a lot. Like we had done maybe like 30 shows the year before, and then the year after that it was like 100, 200 shows or something like that. It was like it like shot
like
from like, it was like an exponential, like on a graph. It just went like this.
How long after did you start getting to know Tiesto?
We knew Tiesto pretty early on, before Body.
Wow.
Yeah, before Body, because we had released Fill Me In on Musical Freedom on his sub-label, and we had met him, and he was like, he's been amazing to us literally from the beginning. Like, he's been so supportive. He's been a really great mentor. Like, we met him through our friend Julian Zecco, who he did Jackie Chan with the song, and because like we've gone way back. Like, I've known Julian since I think like I first started DJing, so we've known each other for a long time. And one night, Tiesto was playing at a club called Rebel in Toronto, and then he's like, oh, like you guys should meet him. So then he introduced us, and he likes to party, so he goes to me, and he's like, there's this massive bottle of vodka, and he's like, you should do a scorpion shot. And I'm like, what's that? And obviously I've been to college and I was in a fraternity, so I'm not a stranger to drinking. And he goes, so you have to put the bottle over your head, and then you have to like pour it in your mouth from that. So I'm like, all right, like why don't we do that? Let's try it. So I did it, and obviously because I'm a pro, I didn't get a single drop like anywhere else.
Oh my god.
And then everybody in the green room's like, ah! But like you're supposed to do it because it kind of like tricks you, and you're supposed to like, it's very hard to do, so you'll like get it all over your face basically. So he's trying to trick me, but ha ha ha.
I literally Googled what the scorpion shot was.
Really?
And it had like scorpions like in the shot.
No.
For you guys.
It's not that
and
dangerous.
I was like, wow, you're so daring, like just like drinking a whole scorpion, because that's all the Google images was. I was like, I gotta ask you about this. It turns out to be something totally different.
No, it's completely different. I'm not that dangerous, but it is dangerous if you get it in your eyes, so be very careful.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then how about Martin Garrix? How did you meet him?
Honestly, that's kind of like same sort of thing. So we released Fill Me In, and then afterwards we saw this video of Martin talking about it, and they're like, what are your favorite songs right now? And he goes and he's like, oh, Fill Me In by Loud Luxury, like I literally brushed my teeth to it.
Oh, wow.
And like saying stuff like that, and we're like, oh my god, like what? Like, because obviously like Martin Garrix is a massive deal, so we're like, wow, this is crazy. And then he had just come out with Scared to Be Lonely, and we literally just emailed him. We're like, hey, can we remix it? And he was like, I would love that. Like, that'd be amazing.
Emailed it? It's like
literally just emailed his people.
Oh.
And we're like, hey, can we remix it? And he was like, yes, that'd be amazing. And then he brought us on some shows with him, and then we became good friends. So he's been awesome as well. Like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of the Dutch DJs are all very like supportive, and they're all like really nice dudes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you're signed now with Armada? Or?
Yeah, Armada. Yep.
How did that happen?
Well, that kind of started because we did a song with Borges. So we had like a little bit of a relationship, and it was under Armada Trice, which is like another sub-label of theirs. So we were already kind of like, we'd worked with them, but nothing like extensively. And then we just had like a lot of music that we were working on in LA, like literally every day. Andrew and I, like I would go for a hike and then come back, work on music, and like that was basically our day. Like eat, go to groceries, do laundry, and like make music.
What was the reaction when you got the Juno-Award?
That was probably the craziest thing that's happened like in my life to me. Yeah. Because not only because it's a Juno, like obviously that's a huge deal, but I don't know, last year was really weird because like obviously we had Body come out, we got nominated for Junos, we started like DJing like everywhere, and it's like literally our career went from like relatively nothing to like actually making it a career. But so basically the way it works is in Canada, for those of you that don't know, is they like I know how it's like the Canadian Grammys basically, but the Grammys, they typically do it in LA every year, but Canada, what they'll do is they'll have like a raffle, and they'll get different cities selected to be kind of like the Olympics, like that sort of thing.
That's really cool.
For the Junos, and so last year, London, my hometown, got selected to be the host of the Junos, which I was like, oh my god, this is crazy! Like, I can't believe it's happening there this year. Yeah, like it's insane. So it was really, really special winning it last year because not only was it like our biggest song that we've ever done and like really is what like kind of propelled our careers, but we got to celebrate winning a Juno and like literally everything in my hometown. So like my friends, my family, like literally everybody was there. And I think I went from like 0 to 1,000 that night because like we won, and there's this bar that we would always like DJ at back in college. And
it's so surreal.
Like legitimately, like my friend owns it, and I texted him, and I'm like, get ready, like it's going down tonight. Like legitimately, what we did was we bought like 60 bottles of Grey Goose or something like that, or like I can't even remember. It was like vodka and tequila, and we literally had like every available person in the bar to like come out and do this like bottle parade thing, and then as soon as they did that, like the liquor inspector showed up, and they're like, we have to take them away for a bit. They're like, we can't have them out. And then by the end of the night, it was literally just like bottles like horizontal, like like spilling it everywhere. And I was like hanging from the rafters, like literally just like doing pull-ups all night. I was like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I celebrate pretty crazy sometimes.
I can tell. Oh my god. And you have a residency at Hakkasan? Or?
Yes. Yeah. That's been like the holy grail of like DJing for us, because like literally even before Andrew and I lived here, we would like take trips to LA, and then I remember the first time we actually came to LA, the last day we were here, we had a rental car, and we were literally like went for a hike or something like that, and we're like meditated for a bit, and we're like, we should go to Vegas. And then at lunch, I think we were at like Earth Cafe or something.
Oh, so like, very LA this story.
I know, so LA. And we're like, we should go to Vegas. We can just drop the car off in Vegas and leave it there and just fly out of Vegas and switch our flights. And then it like somehow was like turned into this like hangover like type of like story where we literally just like drove from LA to Vegas and then partied in Vegas all night. But like ever since then we were like, we have to, like literally all the biggest DJs are playing here, and like Hakkasan Group, they've been so good to us, and it's been literally a dream being able to play at like some of the craziest venues that I've ever even seen in my life. Like Omnia, the chandelier is insane. Hakkasan, they just installed this like crazy light system, like a light grid. And Wet Republic's just like insanity all the time. So literally anytime we have to go play in Vegas, I'm like, yes, like this is the best thing ever. Because also too, we play a lot of different places, and sometimes you don't really know what you're gonna get, like because you're going to a new place, a new city, a new club. So it's like always very different. Whereas with Vegas, it's kind of like you always know, like we're gonna get picked up. We eat at the same spots. We play. We have like a routine.
Of a 9 to 5.
That's exactly it. Like we have a little bit of a routine, and it's like, and not to mention, like they treat you like, literally like they roll out the red carpet for you. So it's like it's nice. It's a good feeling. You know what I mean? You come back and you know everything's gonna be like perfect.
How did you meet Bryce Vine?
That's a funny story. So another LA story. We were out one night because I think we were seeing our friend Chantel Jeffrey's DJ, and so she, I think Bryce's agent kind of like is affiliated with them, and we were just like talking with them or whatever, and he goes and he's like, yeah, I work with Bryce Vine. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And he's like, no, like why? I'm like, I love his music. Like he's incredible. He's like blowing up right now.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah. He's like, you want me to like get you in the studio with him? And like literally, that week we got in the studio, and I was like, this is great. So then Bryce ends up showing us, because we were just like kind of going back and forth and like seeing what would work, and he shows us this like very early version of I'm Not Alright, and it was just like a guitar, literally just like the guitar that you hear in the song, and the hook. Like, you're not alright, I'm not, like that. Basically, it was just that, like 15 seconds, and we were like, this is amazing, like we have to do something with this. So then basically what happened was, basically the next few months after that, we were like in Ubers, planes, like hotel rooms, and we got studios in a lot of different cities that we were in, and basically just like fleshed out the song. It was kind of like ad-libs. Like we would like have the part that he wrote, and then we produced the whole song, and then we would like write different parts and kind of like Frankenstein it all together.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it was a little bit more unconventional in the way that we work, but it was really cool. Like I that's the thing I like about making music. It's not like always the same thing. And that's why I like working with a lot of different people and collaborating with people, because it's a story and you get to see like different sides of the story, and you get to like basically get a new perspective on things.
What's the inspiration for your upcoming EP?
That one, honestly, it's just sort of the same sort of thing where we've been working on so much music, and
any themes or lyrics? Any life stories?
Well, it's gonna be called Nights Like This. So I mean, basically, it's sort of like a metaphor for our life and the crazy things that'll happen. So I mean, we worked with a lot of different people on it, and we're really excited because again, it's like I was saying, it tells like a lot of different stories and different perspectives from people from different backgrounds. So that's what I really love, and it's very diverse. It's got a few songs that like you wouldn't really be like, oh my god, like they would produce that, but it still has our sound. And that's the main thing. It's like, which we really strived for when we were here, like eating oatmeal every day, was literally like, how do we have a sound? How do we get something that like when people hear it, it's like, oh, that's them, you know?
How would you say our music has changed compared to the early songs you made?
They're a lot less shitty. Our first songs, like, I can't even play them for you because they're so bad, but we've definitely grown. We've learned kind of some new things, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, no, like that's all I can ask for, is just like us learning and growing and continuing the journey and continuing the story and just making something that's really ours. You know, like I don't want to go out and just like copy somebody, or I don't want to have something that's not something that Andrew and I did.
Last question: what does love mean to you?
Oh, that's a deep question. You're getting deep on me right now. I mean, for me, love it's a feeling, and it's something that you not only give but you receive. So, I mean, I more so it's appreciation also.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think.
I
it's
love
like,
that.
because if you can appreciate something, then you can also love it. So for me, it's just like showing that, and like I'm appreciative of this beautiful day. So I love this day, you know?
Yeah, this is perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.